Down by 4 against the Pelicans, Jordan Poole has the chance to cut down the lead to just 1 or 2. But what does he do?
It's Jordan Poole.
Oh my gosh, that's a carry!
Yep, and it will be
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I don't want to overreact or anything, but that play right there sums up what has been happening with Jordan Poole this season. From being dubbed as the next Steph Curry, he's now playing like absolute trash to the point that the Wizards have had to bench him, cause it's just so painful to watch what has become of him. Now, I know, he had 34 points and 7 assists against the Lakers, but with the scoring outbursts this season, it's not surprising that we saw a flash of his former self. I mean, last season, he was like this.
It's Poole, jabbing, dancing, 16-footer.
Jordan Poole. Up and Poole with 5, spins past 2 defenders, great pass!
But now, he's turned into this.
Here comes Kuzma. Poole deep 3. Air ball.
Delivers a very good defender. Jordan Poole to the baseline. Tried to scoop it up, and Asar Thompson came.
That's just a nasty call there. He's lucky.
The dude has literally been a walking meme all season long. And not only did he fail the eye test, but the numbers also backed up how horrible overall he has been this season.
This is where he ranks right now, Molly. He's 3rd in the NBA, 3rd worst in the NBA at 39.6% shooting, trailing only rookie Scoot Henderson and Spencer Dinwiddie. Those are the only 2 that are worse. 30.4 3-point percentage shooting, also 3rd worst in the NBA, a minimum of 200 attempts, only trailing Nikola Vucevic and Jordan Clarkson. Only those 2 are worse. And at 46.6% effective field goal shooting, he's 2nd worst in the entire NBA.
If you remember a year ago, this dude was splitting 20.4 points a ball game while shooting the rock at 43, 33, 87 shooting splits, while also being the 3rd leading scorer in the Golden State Warriors lineup. But see, it's been a downhill slide for him since then, cause so far as of this video, across 56 games this season, he's just been averaging 16 points a ball game, while shooting 39.7% from the field and a dismal 30.7% from 3. I mean, this was supposed to be the guy for the Wizards after they traded away Bradley Beal, but from the looks of things, he's looking like he's just another guy that no one wants to talk about and get themselves acquainted with. He signed a huge payday back in October 2022 when he cashed in $128 million for 4 years. But right now, he's definitely playing nowhere near that huge amount. They brought him in for one purpose, and that is to put buckets on the scoreboard. But if he's not doing any of that, or let's say that even if he's scoring but he's doing it in the most inefficient way, then what does he bring to the table for the Wizards? And more importantly, how does this affect his real value as a player overall? Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to admit it, but the pool party is officially over. I mean, Draymond's punch was so strong that it literally knocked a few brain cells out of this kid. Cause this season, he just keeps doing boneheaded plays left and right. And look, I get it, Draymond is a UFC fighter and all, but still. So here's JP trying to roll out the ball to save some time. But watch this, he picks up the ball with 2 hands, drops the ball. Then, moments later, he just forgets what he did, picks it up again, and ultimately, he gets called for a travel. But this one is an instant classic. The Wizards are running here on the break. They eventually find Poole in the corner. Poole then lets it fly, turns his back like Steph Curry while bricking the shot. Now, doing stupid stuff on the court on a nightly basis has become quite regular for JP. But on top of that, it seems that Poole has suddenly forgotten how to put the ball in the hoop, as if the Monstars from Space Jam took his basketball talents away. See, out of 50-plus games this season, Poole has had 10 games where he just recorded single digits in terms of scoring. But the worst of the worst came on the night of February 8th, 2024.
That'll be Jordan Poole's final foul of the night as he fouls out. Tough shooting night for Poole again to not score. 0 for 5 from the field.
Now, you must be wondering why the crowd was booing. Well, the boos were not directed at the Wizards, although you can make the case for it given how god-awful they've been this season. But see, the real reason why they're booing is that after almost clocking 25 minutes of play, Jordan Poole, the $128 million man and the quote-unquote scoring superstar, tallied a grand total of, ta-da, 0 points in that game against the Cavaliers. Like Z-E-R-O, zilch, nada, none, 0 freaking points, Tony Snell style. I mean, from averaging 20 points a ball game, Jordan Poole has been reduced to this. I understand if this happens to a third stringer or a scrub or a bench guy, but we're talking about a player who won a championship in 2022 and is currently getting paid $27 million this year. See, here's a list of players that are in the same salary bracket as Jordan Poole, and upon doing some extensive research, the next 10 names after Poole haven't been scoreless so far this season, which makes the curious case of Poole super rare and flat out embarrassing at the same time. Anyway, I don't want to take a victory lap on someone else's mishap, but at some point we have to raise the question. So how did it all come crashing down for Jordan Poole? Are there just enough baddies on the sideline in Washington, D.C.? Not quite. Like I said earlier, the infamous altercation between him and Draymond is definitely the biggest contributor to his tragic downfall this season. Cause if you remember, Poole was actually playing just fine before the incident happened, but after that, things have never been the same. I mean, even though everything looked fine on the surface, you can feel that something was off and the air in the Warriors' locker room was totally different. As for JP, the incident did not only affect him mentally, but it also reflected in his poor play on the court. I mean, his game fluctuated like the stock market and became extremely volatile as the season progressed. Now, the other reason I have in mind has nothing to do with the punching incident, but more of how JP3 shot himself in the foot. See, ever since he got drafted in 2019, it has been an uphill climb for JP, as he fought tooth and nail for a spot on the Dubs roster. Eventually, he got his opportunity during the pandemic season, and since then, his numbers steadily grew during the next 2 seasons, to the point where he was playing like a legit doppelganger of Steph, and was unofficially baptized as the third Splash Brother. Now, during his peak, everyone knew back then that Jordan Poole had another gear that he could shift to, but that could only be possible if he wasn't held back by Steph and Clay and playing as the third fiddle for the Splash Brothers. Then, as we all know, the Wizards pulled the trade that sent Chris Paul to the Warriors in exchange for Poole. But come to think of it, this trade actually benefited Jordan Poole more than anything. I mean, for the first time in his career, he now had the chance to prove to himself that he can be his own man, without Steph and Clay backing him up. This season was actually the perfect opportunity for him to elevate his game to new heights and possibly work on being an all-star. But ironically, the opposite thing happened, and now we're talking about his epic collapse. Simply put, Jordan Poole has dropped the ball and continues to fumble it whenever he gets the opportunity to turn things around. The big-time pressure of leading your own team while being the top dog at the same time must have gotten into Jordan Poole, which is why he's sinking to an all-time low right now. On top of this, the fortune and fame that came from winning a championship must have gotten into his head as well, to the point that he doesn't care about anything anymore since he already got a ring and a bag. I mean, we have seen NBA superstars completely disappear and just play at a mediocre level right after they've won a championship, and interestingly enough, one of them happens to be Poole's current teammate, Kyle Kuzma. Now, the same kind of decline also happened to big stars right after getting a big fat check, like Memphis's most famous bank robber Chandler Parsons, Luol Deng, and to a certain degree Julius Randle. So, you see, this also might be another reason why Jordan Poole is playing like hot garbage this season. Well guys, what's your take on this Jordan Poole situation? Is there still a chance for him to resurrect his career, or is this the end of the line for him? Be sure to let me know your thoughts by putting your comments below, and until then, see you on the next video.